Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a look at some Forge mods which have been updated to the latest version of Minecraft. I've been looking for mods that I haven't covered before, and I found a good amount. If you like any of these mods, you can download them from the description below. The solar cooker can be crafted from a chest, 4 glass panes, and 4 iron ingots. It acts like a smoker, being able to cook any food you place inside. The only difference is that it doesn't require any physical fuel, as it's powered by sunlight, making it super efficient. If there's no sunlight or it's raining, then it won't work. Reflectors can be crafted from 3 iron ingots, 3 slabs, and 3 glass panes, and up to 4 of them can be placed besides the solar cooker to increase the intake of sunlight, which causes foods to cook faster. The final item is the shining block of diamond, which can be created by placing it in the solar cooker for 2.5 minutes. It needs to be placed between 2 and 6 blocks above the solar cooker and will allow the cooker to work without sunlight, using the shining block of diamond instead. Guns Without Roses adds a few new weapons which are inspired by Terraria. There's 5 guns included, which are made up of 2 pistols, a shotgun, a sniper, and a Gatling gun. There's a few different ammunition types too, which can determine the amount of damage you deal, or whether they can hit entities on fire. All of these items have their own recipes, so make sure you install just enough items to check them out. The mod includes 4 new enchantments, which can be applied to guns, and these are Impact, Bullseye, Sleight of Hand, and Preserving. They'll increase damage, accuracy, rate of fire, and give a chance to not consume ammunition. A personal favorite of mine, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, is available. It's a client-side mod that causes your tamed dogs to lie down when they're left alone for a while. There's a lot of different poses that the dog will do, and once you get close, they'll return to their sitting position. The plain grinder can be crafted with 7 smooth stone and an iron nugget. You'll also need to craft a grinder handle from 3 sticks and an iron nugget before you can use the mod. When you place the grinder down, you can attach the handle to the top. The grinder will accept different items like raw gold, raw iron, or raw copper. When you place them inside and spin the handle, you'll receive 2 dust in return, which can be smelted in a furnace to receive 2 ingots, meaning it doubles your total output. The grinder can receive lots of other items like gravel, sand, clay, blaze rods, TNT, bones, and more. Mining near lava can be quite easy if you're careful not to fall in, as hostile mobs won't spawn due to the light it emits. To make it more challenging, try out the Lava Monsters mod. It adds new creatures that spawn in lava, and they'll spit fireballs at you when they attack. They'll also set alight any blocks they walk on, which can be quite destructive. They don't have too much health, so you can kill them quite easily to receive drops like coal and fire charges. With King of the Villagers, you can craft a throne from 6 diamond blocks, which is pretty expensive. It looks like diamond stairs, and when you place it down, an unemployed villager can interact with it to become the king. He'll look different to regular villagers, as he'll be wearing a crown and a cape. The only difference this mod makes is that you can trade with the king to receive some different items, as he has items like diamonds, the Totem of Undying, Prismarine, and more. TrapCraft adds lots of different traps, which can be used on friends or hostile mobs. The first is the Igniter, which can set a block on fire when it's powered with redstone. The distance of the fire can be determined by using Igniter range upgrades. Spikes are pretty self-explanatory. They deal damage when an entity touches them. Grass coverings would work well with spikes. They look like the top of grass blocks, but entities and players will fall through them as they'll break. Bear traps will only trigger when they're touched by non-player entities and will kill a target over time. The final trap is the Fan, which can be used to push entities into your other traps. There's a magnetic chest block too, which can suck up any items on the ground, so it's useful for collecting loot from traps. Measurements adds a tape measure, which can be crafted from 2 yellow wool, 3 gray wool, and an iron ingot. When you hold it, you can right-click on 2 different blocks to work out the length, width, and height of an area, which will be useful for lots of builds. If you want to clear a measurement, then just crouch and right-click the ground. With tiny skeletons, there will be a 5% chance for a skeleton to spawn as a baby skeleton instead. just like with zombies. When you're at a distance, they'll use their bow and arrow to fire at you, but with their quicker movement speed, they can get close to you and switch to the sword on their back instead. Baby strays exist too, but instead of having a bow, they'll throw snowballs at you, which deal damage. Finally, there's baby wither skeletons. These are actually passive and they will run away from you, as they know you'll want their skull. But if you manage to kill it, then you'll have a 100% chance of getting the wither skeleton skull as a drop. Dusk aims to make surviving the night a little harder in Minecraft. Firstly, the time at which you can sleep is changed to be a bit later, at around 2,000 ticks. The number of monsters that can spawn during the night is also increased by 30% with the default settings, so it's definitely going to be more challenging. But the mod is highly configurable, so you can increase the monster spawn rate even more or disable sleeping entirely. Survive introduces a few new mechanics, with the first being thirst. You'll need to keep your thirst replenished, otherwise you'll start taking damage. You can drink water from a source block or put it in a furnace to purify it. The color of your hotbar indicates your temperature, and you can receive hypothermia or hyperthermia, both of which will hurt. But the mod includes some new armors you can craft to try to regulate your temperature. You'll also need to sleep more often or your body will begin to shut down. The only alternative is to drink sugary drinks. Finally, there's stamina, which will increase gradually over time from performing actions. It can be restored through standing still or sleeping. The Obsidian Boat can be crafted like a regular boat, but using 5 obsidian blocks instead. If you place it in the water, it's going to sink, as the Obsidian Boat can only float in lava, making it a great choice for navigating the Nether. Advanced Compass has to be my favorite compass mod, just because of how clean it looks. With it installed, you can see the compass displayed at the top of your screen, showing each direction and all the mobs around you. By pressing P, you can configure the compass, with settings allowing you to display coordinates, change the location, and more. In the second tab, you can choose which mobs you want it to display, whereas by pressing N, you can set custom waypoints with a few different icons available, and they'll appear on the compass at all times. It's a great mod all around. With Weapon Throw installed, you can throw both swords and axes by holding down the R key, which will power it up. The throw doesn't go too far, but it deals a good amount of damage. There's also 5 enchantments included, which are Throw, Grounded Edge, Concussion, Gravity, and Return. Out of these, the most notable are Throw, which increases overall damage, Gravity, which causes the weapon to not fall until it reaches a block, and Return, which acts like the Loyalty enchantment. Mounted Pearl will allow you to use Ender Pearls when you're riding a mount like a horse. Usually when you throw a pearl, you'll be dismounted and teleported, but with this mod installed, you'll remain mounted and it will even travel with you, which could be useful for crossing rivers. Enhanced Farming mod starts by adding new fruit trees spawning throughout your world, which can grow mangoes, bananas, oranges, pears, cherries, and more. There's lots of new crops too, which allow you to plant the likes of lettuce, grapes, garlic, pineapple, and a few others. And with all these new ingredients, there's plenty of food items you can make, like juices, pies, and soups. That's basically all the mod is about, adding more farming ingredients and recipes to the latest version of Minecraft. Scarecrow's Territory allows you to craft a scarecrow from 3 sticks, a hay bale, and a carved pumpkin. It can be placed down and given a dye to change the color if you'd like. When a scarecrow is placed down, it will keep any spawners within an 8-block radius activated and allow passive mobs to spawn in the area, even when the players are not around. But either way, they make great decoration blocks for your farm. The Greater Eye of Ender can be crafted from an Eye of Ender, a diamond, and an emerald. When you sneak and right-click while holding it, you can switch between different overworld structures. You can then just right-click to release the pearl, with it giving you a general direction of the selected structure, and there's a chance it will be consumed. By adding another quartz to the Greater Eye of Ender in a crafting table, you can create another version which can look for a fortress or a bastion. If you combine the Greater Eye of Ender with a chorus fruit instead, it can be used in the end to search for end cities. Torchmaster adds the Mega Torch, which requires 2 logs, 2 blocks of gold, 2 diamonds, and 3 torches. When placed down, it will stop the spawning of hostile mobs in a 64-block radius. You can craft the Dead Lamp instead from glowstone, 2 glass panes, 5 obsidian, and a black dye. Instead, this will stop the spawning of any passive animals. The final item is the Pharaoh Flare Lantern, which requires 2 gold ingots, 2 glass, and a glowstone dust. When placed down, this will spawn invisible light sources all around, helping you to light up your base. Everyone should know about Alex's mobs by now, but it just turned a year old. It currently adds over 60 creatures to Minecraft, which are a mix of both real-world and fantasy styled. Some of the creatures you'll come across include crows, gorillas, rattlesnakes, shoebills, tigers, and obviously a lot more. When you start a world, you'll spawn with an animal dictionary, which will tell you everything you need to know about each creature, such as their favorite foods and drops. A mod like this is really going to bring your world to life. That completes our 1.18 Forge list. I've got some more Forge videos planned for the future, now that we've passed 1.17. In the meantime, make sure to check out my channel for some more mods and resource pack lists.